Hi, it's David from My Business English, and today we're going to look at how to use I suggest and I recommend correctly. Do you write things like this? I suggest to go to a doctor. I recommend you to improve your system. Well, unfortunately, they're incorrect. We can't do that in English. Let's look at what we should do. Okay, there are three main rules. Firstly, we're going to use that clauses. Secondly, we can use nouns. And often if we use nouns, we can use gerunds. That is the verb ing. So that's a verb pretending to be a noun. And in American English and in more formal speaking and writing, we use the subjunctive. I'll tell you about that in a moment. So, step by step. Firstly, nouns, right? We can say, I suggested a new computer. I recommended a new computer. All right, easy. Now we can add that verb idea, but with the gerund, the ing. So, I suggested buying a new computer. I recommended buying a new computer. All right, so far so good. Next, we want to use that clauses. Alright, so I suggest that you buy a new computer, or I recommend that you buy a new computer. So that clauses are very, very common with these two verbs. Now, often we use suggest and recommend with the subjunctive mood. What does that mean? Well, in practice, that means that we're using the base form or the bare infinitive for every pronoun. In this case, we've got she. Right? Normally we say she buys, right? He buys, she buys, it buys. But for the subjunctive, it's different. We're using the base form, or the bare infinitive, for he, she, it. In fact, we use that for every pronoun. So we say I buy, you buy, we buy, he, she, it buy, and they buy. It's the same for every pronoun. So here, I suggest that she buy a new computer. I recommend that she buy a new computer. So for more formal writing or speaking, we tend to do that, and especially in American English. So here we can see the subjunctive with I and the verb to be. She suggested that I be there. Or my boss recommended that I be there. So in this case, it would sound pretty weird actually to say she suggested that I am there. That would sound quite weird. So here it sounds a lot better with the subjunctive. She suggested that I be there. But, all right, a big but. Not everyone, even native speakers, uses the subjunctive, and it's a bit less common in British English. So sometimes you'll see people writing or saying, I suggest that she buys a new computer. Right? Our normal, what we'd know as normal indicative mood, normal present simple, right? I suggest that she buys a new computer. I recommend that she buys a new computer. Another thing about British English is that sometimes they'll use I suggest with should, which is less common in American English. So I suggest that we should buy a new car. Because often we might just use should. If we're in a meeting, for example, okay, we should buy a new car. But I suggest that we should buy a new car is acceptable in British English, less common in American English. Okay, so if you like that video, please share and subscribe to My Business English at YouTube. And you might also like my Grammar Songs for Learning English channel as well. Have a great day.